Shri Ganeshaya Namaha. Om Sarvadevaya Namaha. Om Jai Shri Ram. Suswagatam everyone. Moving on to part 6, chapter 3. A year or so later, another story reached the servants. One that we didn't quite understand, but that made us all smile. Rajkumari accompanied Janak Baba to visit one of the great sages of the region, who had taught the Maharaja certain sacred mantras. One evening, when the sage was explaining the meaning of each sound of a particular mantra, Rajkumari interrupted and asked, "Is it not enough simply to think the words? Why must one recite them out loud?" "Sounds are vibrations, Sita," he explained. "They affect other vibrations and can bring the desired changes in the external world if the sounds are pronounced correctly. Each sound is attuned to a particular vibration in the universe, and a slight mispronunciation can alter the effect tremendously." Rajkumari was quiet for a few minutes and then asked, "But aren't thoughts also vibrations? Can't thoughts also have an effect?" "Indeed, they do," he explained. "But sound is more powerful than thought. That is why the recitation of a mantra is used to bring about an effect. Just thinking the mantra will not have the same outcome." Rajkumari thought for a minute and then responded, "But could that be due to the power of one's concentration? If the mind's focus is such, would not a thought have the same effect?" "Sita is right," sounded a voice from the doorway. "The power of thought cannot be disputed." Everyone turned to see who had interjected themselves into the discussion. A kindly looking middle aged woman stood in the doorway, dressed in renunciate clothing. Her dark hair, streaked with strands of grey, was swept up atop her head. Her skin was clear, with no wrinkles. Her eyes were dark and intense, but also gentle. The other sages greeted her. "Sage Gargi, welcome. Please come in and join us." Gargi was a great philosopher and expounder of the Vedas, renowned in the Janak Baba's kingdom. Sage Gargi entered the room and took her seat beside Sita. "Sita, we live on the physical plane. In the higher realms, thought alone can manifest what one desires. Here, in the material world, a denser vibration is needed. The physical world came into manifestation through the vibration of sound, through the Om vibration. And these wise men are correct. Pronunciation is key. It is very difficult to align oneself with the correct vibration. If one's thought is not attuned, the sound will not be perfectly aligned. Thought guides the sound. A pure mind is needed, or at least a very disciplined mind, which is why so few hold the power of mantra. In earlier times, mantra was used to bring benefit to the earth, to bring the rains when they failed to come, for example." She stopped for a moment. "I see, Sita, that you have a question." Sita didn't respond, but her expression showed she was taking in what she had just heard. "Come, ask anything," pressed Sage Gargi. "These are important points for you to know. They will be valuable to you later on." Sita turned to look at the small group that had gathered, a few of whom she knew to be advanced in meditation practices. There was a long trot in Vidya before I was born. Why didn't the mantras bring the rains then? She asked. They looked at one another without responding. Sita turned to Sage Gargi and asked again, why didn't the mantras help when the people and animals were suffering from lack of water? Sage Gargi responded in a low voice, a very powerful being, Sita, can counter the mantras and make them ineffective. This is rare, but it has happened and did happen then. Who would do such a thing? She asked in amazement. And who would have such power? Again there was silence. No one dared to speak his name. Sita looked from one to another. Finally, Maharaja Janak intervened and said to Sita, it is getting late. Perhaps it is time for us to retire. Pitaji, I must know who is the cause of such suffering and why. His name is Ravan, replied Sage Gargi quietly. He was once a highly respected scholar and a great devotee of Mahadev, and through long and intense tapasya gained many powers. His mother is a powerful asura, but his father is a respected scholar of the Vedas. He could have followed either path, but arrogance and pride overtook him, and he sought to conquer the three worlds. He is one of those rare beings who can counter the mantras. He has subdued many parts of the earth and has mastered many forms of subterfuge. But he will not touch Vidya now. The sages are safe here. Sita looked troubled, but she saw her father rise, indicating it was time to end the conversation. She pranamed to the sages and retired with him. The next day they left the hermitage. Sita was quiet the whole way back to the palace. Finally her father said, Sita, do not trouble yourself about what you heard. It is not for you to worry about that now. I am not worried, Pitaji. I am just trying to understand why someone with knowledge, a devotee of Mahadev, would do harm. He was not ready to handle the power he attained. Power in the wrong hands, Sita, can do great damage. Changing the subject, he said, I see how much you admire Sage Gargi. Would you like to study with her? Very much, Sita replied with an eager smile. Then it shall be arranged. Jai Shri Ram. Let me know, please. How did you like this part? How did you like this part? Comment in the comment section below any suggestion you have. Please like and share the video. Thank you. Jai Shri Ram.